بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الناصح الأمين اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين ثم أما بعد الحمد لله على نعمة الإسلام والسنة. All praise and thanks belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guiding us to Islam and for guiding us to the Sunnah. We continue going over the tremendous book by the Fadilat al-Shaykh al-Allama Imam bin Baz rahimahullahu ta'ala. The book which is entitled Durus al-Muhimma li'amat al-Ummah, the important lessons for the general masters of the Muslims. We are still on the section where we're speaking about the Arkanul Iman, the pillars of Iman. And we're still dealing with the introduction to this particular section before getting into the first rukn, which is to believe properly in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We still want to look at some of the adillah which point to these arkan, which point to these pillars. And this is a fitting introduction because from the methodology of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, and this is something that I want everyone to take as a qa'idah. This is a principle from the principles of our deen, from the principles of the da'wah as-salafiyya, and that is that we have ilm, we have the knowledge, and we know the adillah first before we take a belief. From the way of Ahl Sunnah is that we have the adillah, we know the adillah first before we take a belief. Whereas the way of Ahl Bid'ah, it is the opposite. They take beliefs, form beliefs, then they look for a proof or an evidence that they can misinterpret to use for their false belief. Ahl Sunnah, no. Our belief is based upon the proofs and the evidences. As Imam Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, he brings the side of Thalathatul Usul in the Muqaddimah, in the beginning or the introduction to it, where he mentions al-ilm qabl al-qawli wal-amal, that knowledge precedes statement and action. Likewise, Imam al-Bukhaari بوّب في الصحيح باب العلم قبل القول والعمل. Likewise, Imam al-Bukhari, he brings as a chapter, he made as a chapter inside of his Sahih, the chapter, knowledge precedes statement and action. So we have the proof and the evidence first, then we take our belief. Naam. Because the belief, these aspects of Islam, Iman, so on and so forth, then these are issues that are tawqifiyya. These are issues that are tawqifiyya. Tawqifiyya means that what? We waqf. Naqif, that we stop. We stop and we only move once we have a text, once we have a statement from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, once we have a statement from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon the proper understanding, and that is bila shak wa bila rayb, the understanding of the Salaf of this ummah. Once we have that, then we take our beliefs. Na'am, this is the way of the believer. This is the way of the believer that is upon the proper way, the proper methodology. Sami'na wa ata'na. We hear, we obey. Ilm qabl al-qawli wal-amal. Knowledge precedes statement and action. So before getting into the first pillar, the Fadilat al-Shaykh, Shaykh Abdul Razak bin Shaykh Abdul Muhsin al-Badr, hafidhahumullah ta'ala, he mentions, and this is a continuation from where we left off in last week's class. He says, فَهَذِهِ صِفَةٌ, the characteristic, description and trait that he is referring to is what? Is Iman bil ghayb, belief in the unseen. This is what he's referring to. فَهَذِهِ صِفَةٌ وَمِيزَةٌ شرف الله سبحانه وتعالى بها أهل الإيمان. That this characteristic is a distinguishing characteristic that Allah has blessed the people of Iman with, and that is that they believe in what? In the unseen. لأنهم صدقوا المرسلين, because they believe the messengers. They believe those who were sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When they inform them about those matters of the unseen, they believe in it. Na'am. And as we mentioned, these arkanul iman, then this is that which all of the prophets and all of the messengers, they agreed upon. All of the prophets and all of the messengers, they had this exact same belief. Na'am. They had this exact same belief, and they taught this exact same belief. The people of Iman, they believe the prophets. They believe the messengers. Na'am. وَتَلَقَّوْا كُلَّ مَا جَاءَتْ بِهِ رُسُلُ اللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ بِالْقَبُولِ وَالتَّسْلِيمِ. And they have met everything in which the messengers of Allah had brought. They had accepted it all. They had met it all with acceptance and submission. They accept it and they submit to it. And their statement is what? آمنا بالله وبما جاء عن الله على مراد الله وآمنا بالرسل الله وما جاء عن رسل الله على مراد رسل الله. نعم. That is the tremendous statement that we believe in Allah and that which has come on Allah upon that which Allah intended. And we believe in the messengers of Allah and that which has come on the messengers of Allah upon that which the messengers have intended. Now, you'll find a statement similar to this from Imam al-Shafi'i. Likewise, this statement is attributed to Imam al-Shafi'i. In one version, it mentions وَمَا جَاءَ عَنْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ, and what has come on the messenger of Allah, عَلَى مُرَادْ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ, upon that which was intended by the messenger of Allah. Na'am. Both of them, the meanings are sound. Na'am. Bila shakku bila rayb. And the difference is known. One upon the messenger of Allah, meaning Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the other upon the messengers, all of them. Na'am, upon that which they had come with, and that which, upon that which they intended, the messengers. Na'am. Ala kulli hal, this statement is a statement of Imam al-Shafi'i, rahmatullah alayhi. This is another indication here, which shows you the way, the methodology of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah is that our submission and our acceptance without question, but then this is reserved for what? For the statements of Allah. This is reserved for the statements of Rasulullah. Na'am, this is reserved for the text from the Qur'an and from the Sunnah. This is what we hear and we obey. This is what we submit ourselves to. This is what we don't question. We take it without question. Na'am. Anything that is other than this from the statements of human beings, do we find Imam al-Shafi'i rahmatullah alayhi mentioning those things and the statements of so and so and the statements of such and such and the statements of those who have reached this level and the statements of those who have reached that level as far as knowledge and so on and so forth? No, we do not. But rather we find that what? That he's saying this and it's restricted to what? To the statements of Allah and the statements of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, this is what we hear, we obey, no question. We hear, we obey, no question. Now, this is something that has to be stressed, especially at this day and time of ours. It has to be stressed. Because how many from the Sufiyya, they have deviated with regards to this, and they take the statements of their ai as if it is text. As if it is text. Likewise, those muqallidun, those blind followers, they take the statements of the ones who they blind follow as if it is text. And this is most horrible indeed, because as we know, as Shaykh Uthaymeen, the Allama Imam Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala, he used to mention, he said that the statements of the ulama, aqwal al-ulama, the statements of the ulama, then they need dalil. The statements of the ulama, alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, the statements of the ulama are in need of dalil. They need proofs and evidences. And that the statements of the ulama, with and by themselves, they are not proof and evidence. The statements of the ulama, they are not proofs and evidences. The statements of the ulama, they are not proofs and evidences. But the statements of the ulama are in need of proofs and evidences. That makes sense? The statements of the ulama are what? They are not what? They're not proof. But rather they need what? Proof. They need proof. This is the way of Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah. And it is incumbent that we stress this, because you find individuals in their absurdity, individuals in their absurdity on certain circumstances and certain times when things are against them, not in their favor, don't support that which by way of it they will complete and reach their agenda. They will ask you, what's the proof? Right? They'll say, what's the proof? Right? But when they find something that is in their favor, that they believe, something that favors them in their estimation, and you ask them, Med dalil, what is your proof? They say, Qala Shaykh Fulani. The Shaykh said. They'll say, Qala Shaykh Fulani. The Shaykh said. Or they'll come with ambiguity. They'll come with broad statements. The Kibar ulama mentioned. Really? The Kibar. Because when you say Kibar ulama, that brings to your mind what? A number of Kibar, if not all of them. Majority of them. It brings to your mind this. But then when you ask them, okay, like who? Name from us. Who from the Kibar saying what you're saying? They'll mention one or two. That's it. But that equals that's the Kibar. Ala kulli hal, when you ask them, what's the proof? Shaykh so-and-so said, it's not a proof. We need the proof. Our deen teaches us that we need the proof. From the way of Salafiyya is that we need proof before we make moves. We need proof before we make moves. So you find that this is something that is consistent. Imam Uthaymeen mentions it. Imam al-Shafi'i mentions all of the ai pick one, name one, they all were upon the same thing. We need proofs and we need evidences. And the proof and the evidence is not Sheikh so-and-so said. That's not a proof. But rather, the statement of Sheikh so-and-so needs proof. And this is the case. This is the case. This has always been the case. If Imam Ahmad is not a proof, and he is the Imam of Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah, then bila shak, bila rayb, other from the Mashayikh or Ulama, Al-Fudala, they are also not proof. They're also not proof. Proof is what? The text. Proof is the text. And if it's not the text, it's not proof. That makes sense? Because in our way, what do we consider as being proof is what? The Qur'an, the Sunnah, and Ijma', the consensus. Na'am, the Qur'an, the Sunnah, and Ijma'. And the statement of one or two from the Mashayikh is not that. Na'am, makes sense? Right. Then the Shaykh, he brings another tremendous statement, in which this is what we ended last week's class with, and that is, min Allah al-risala, wa ala rasulillah al-balagh, wa alayna al-taslim. That from Allah is the message, upon the messenger is the conveyance, and upon us is submission. Upon us is submission, compliance, that we submit to it. Na'am, taslim. It's very important. فَهَذِهِ حَالُ أَهْلِ الْإِيمَانِ. This is the situation of the people of Iman. يُؤْمِنُونَ بِكُلِّ مَا يَبْلُغُهُمْ وَيَصِلُ إِلَيْهِمْ مِنْ طَرِيقِ الرُّسُلِ. They believe in everything that they have been informed of, and that which has reached them from the ways of the messengers, عليهم الصلوات والسلام. نعم, عليهم صلوات الله والسلام. ويتلقونه بالقبول والتسليم. And they take it with acceptance and they submit unto it. This is tremendously important, especially in the time that we're living in, where you have so many of the Muslims who are these pseudo intellectuals, and it is as if they believe they can pick and choose what they want to believe from the deen of Islam. Certain parts of Islam, it's okay for them, they have no problem with it. Other parts of the deen, they want to debate with it, they want to try to explain it away, they want to make it seem like it's not from the deen, they want to prefer something else over it, wa'iyadhu billah. And this is not good. You find this a lot from those Muslims who have been tested with the Western school system and the Western miseducation. The Western miseducation twists and warps their brains into believing you challenge everything. Because this is part of the Western civilization, is part of their training. Challenge everything. Rather the statement, more accurately, is what? Question everything. It's what they teach in school. Right? Or at least it's what they teach here in America, in the Northeast. Question everything. Question everything. You see? This concept of questioning everything, subhanallah. Naam, certain things are questioned, bila shak, no doubt, undoubtedly. Certain things are questioned. But then there are certain things that are not questioned. Those things that are not questioned is what? The Qur'an. We don't question the Qur'an. The Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We don't question the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No, we don't question those things. That which Allah Ta'ala has sent down, we don't question it. That which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has come with, we don't question it. But as far as other things, we question. We question them. But their teaching is one that is without restriction. Question everything. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. That's what the kuffar say. None of what you hear, half of what you see. Subhanallah. And they teach the Muslims this, and they bring this mentality to when they're dealing with the deen. So when they're dealing with the religion, they bring this mentality in there. وَعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. So it is incumbent that we learn and we really understand that when it comes to the text, when it comes to the Qur'an, when it comes to the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we don't question it, we submit to it. We don't question it, we submit to it. We turn towards it with acceptance and submission. Na'am. The Shaykh, he says, Duna taraddud, without any type of apprehension, without any type of doubt and being apprehensive. Well, maybe, no, we submit to it, we believe in it 100%. Na'am. Wala tawaqquf, and we don't say, no, we're going to stop, we don't know, we're going to stop and see. No, there's no tawaqquf. It's not, we're not going to take a position, we're going to be neutral. There's no being neutral. Allah Ta'ala says He's above His throne. Ar-Rahman al-Arsh istawa. Like, where's the room to be neutral here? To say, well, I don't know, maybe, I'm not going to say He's here, not going to say He's there. Ya Salaam. That's not from the deen, that's not from the way of Salafy. Allah said He's above His throne. Allah's above His throne. You don't question that. You don't have the right to question that. Now, the Prophet ﷺ, he said He ascended in the Mi'raj wal Isra wal Mi'raj. Naam. You know why? Because that's what really happened. Because it happened. So He informed us of what happened in reality. He said it, it's the truth. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah Ta'ala says, وَمَا أَتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. Whatever the messenger gives you, take it. And whatever he prevents you from, stay away from it. Naam. This is our deen. We hear, we obey. سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا. Not سَمِعْنَا وَسَأَلْنَا وَفَهَمْنَا ثُمَّ طَعْنَا. إيش هذا? It's not we hear, then we question, then we had to understand, then we obey. No, سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا. We hear, we obey. That's it. Why? Because Allah said it. The Prophet ﷺ said it. That's it. That's all we need. Allah said it. Comes a hadith. The only question we have is hadith sahih. Hadith sahih. Khalas, we accept it. That's the way it is. Plus, رَضِيَ مَا رَضِيَ كَرِيهَ مَنْ كَرِيهَ. Whether like it, whether hate it. That's our deen. We submit to the text. This is of extreme importance because this characteristic of submission to the text, submitting to the unseen. Now I'm submitting to the unseen. If you want to put it inside of the modern day terminology, submitting to that which is submitting to that which you cannot quantify. Submitting to that which you cannot quantify. You know, the smart ones say, well, is there quantifiable evidence that this means that and this? Yeah, Salaam. We submit to the unseen, the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can quantify that? The kursi of Allah ta'ala, you can quantify that? You can't. Your mind is not big enough. Your calculator don't have enough numbers on it. You understand? Ain't no equation can understand that. But we believe in it. Because Allah Ta'ala told us that's the way it is. The Prophet ﷺ told us that's the way it is. We believe in it. Khalas, that's it. The angels that hold up the throne, you can really quantify that? No way. No way. Right? So, ala kulli hal, for the believer, it is a must that this is our relationship when it comes to the text. When it comes to what Allah has said, when it comes to what the Prophet ﷺ has said, we believe in it. We don't have apprehension. We don't stop. We don't say, no, we're going to be neutral. Yani, we're going to stay. We're going to be neutral. We're not going to say this. I'm going to say that. We're going to be neutral. No, we're going to play it safe. Playing it safe is submitting. Playing it safe is accepting it. Playing it safe is believing in it. Why? Because Allah said it. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said it. Allah Ta'ala, he says in the Qur'an, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِنَّمَا مِنْ أَدَوَاتِ الْحَصَرِ. Na'am, إِنَّمَا. It is from those restrictive phrases, meaning that these are the only ones. Na'am, so when you say إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, it means what? The believers are only those who. That makes sense? Meaning that what we're going to mention from the characteristic, this is only the characteristic of the believers. The believers are only like this. No other option, no other probability. No. The believers are only like this. Naam, like it comes in the hadith. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. verily actions of a body are attention. This is yani hasar, that actions are only by their attention, and you will only be rewarded based upon that which you intended. There's no other option. You understand? So when you see this word here, innama, then this is restricting something. Innama, something's restricted. Then Allah Ta'ala says, al-mu'minun, the believers are only those who, okay, now your ear want to draw yani open. You want to pay close attention, because Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is telling you the characteristic of the believers, and that this is a characteristic of them, and this is the only way they can be. There's no alternative. That the believers are who? الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَالرَّسُولِهِ, those who believe in Allah and in His Messenger. ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُوا, and then they do not doubt. They have no doubt. They are upon yaqeen. They are upon certainty. They don't doubt. They don't doubt. They don't doubt the existence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. They don't doubt the names and the attributes of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. They don't doubt the rububiyyah of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. They don't doubt that all of the ibadah belongs unto Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُوا, then they do not doubt. They don't doubt the truthfulness of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They don't doubt whether he was a prophet for real or not. They don't doubt any aspect of the sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that's been authentically reported upon him. They don't doubt it. They have no doubt. They believe strong. They have belief in Allah, belief in His Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and they do not doubt. They do not doubt. Naam. So if you want to break down, okay, what do you mean belief in Allah, belief in His Messenger? Is as Imam Shafi'i he mentioned, آمنا بالله وبما جاء عن الله على مراد الله. We believe in Allah and that which has come about Allah upon that which Allah intended. وآمنا بالرسول الله وما جاء عن الرسول الله على مراد الرسول الله. And we believe in the Messenger of Allah and that which has come on the Messenger of Allah upon that which the Messenger of Allah intended. So we believe in Allah and that which has come upon Allah the way Allah intended. We believe in the Messenger, that which has come upon the Messenger and what the Messenger intended. ثُمَّ لَمْ يَرْتَابُوا, then they have no doubt. They don't doubt it. They don't question it. They don't say maybe. No, maybe. Allah Ta'ala said that's the way it is. They have certainty. The Prophet ﷺ said that's the way it is. They have certainty. أَيْقَنُوا وَلَمْ يَشُكُّوا, meaning that they have certainty and they don't doubt it. They have no apprehension, no ambiguity, no taraddud, no hesitation. They believe in it. فَيَدْخُلُ تَحْتَ هَذِهِ الْجُمْلَةِ, so it enters under this sentence, يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ, that they believe in the unseen. أُصُولُ إِيمَان, all of the pillars of Iman. مِنَ الْإِيمَان بِاللَّهِ, from the belief in Allah. إِيمَانًا بِأَسْمَائِهِ وَصِفَاتِهِ, believing in His names and His attributes. وَعَظَمَتِهِ, and His greatness. وَأَفْعَالِهِ, and His actions. كُلُّ مَا أَخْبَرَتْ بِهِ الرُّسُلُ عَنِ اللَّهِ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى, everything that the messengers have informed us about Allah تبارك وتعالى. وَعَنِ الْمَلَائِكَةِ, and that was they told us about the angels. وَعَنِ الْكُتُبِ, and that was they had told us about the books. وَعَنْ أَحْوَالِ الرُّسُلِ الْأَوَّلِينَ وَغَيْرِ ذَلِكَ, and also that which from the situations of the first messengers, from the early messengers, and other than that, from the aspects of Iman. We believe in it all. نعم. ثم قال جل وعلا, then Allah جل وعلا, He says, وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ, and those who believe in that which was revealed unto you, meaning what? Al-Qur'an. They believe in the Qur'an, all of it, not some of it. They don't believe in some parts and then throw other parts away, but they believe in what? In all of it. نعم. وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ, and that which was revealed before you, الْكُتُبِ الْمُنَزَّلَةِ, meaning the books that have come down. وَفِيهِ الْإِيمَانِ بِالرُّسُلِ, and in that enters also the belief in the messengers. Because the books were given to who? To the messengers. نعم. الذين أنزلت عليهم هذه الكتب. Those messengers who these books were revealed upon them. وبالآخرة, and belief in the akhirah. And we can also add unto that, also this necessitates belief in what? In the angels. Because the angels, they bring the books down, they bring the revelation to the prophets. Naam. So you see they're all interconnected, as aforementioned in previous classes. And each of these beliefs are interconnected to the other. You just believe in one, you just believe in them all. In reality. Naam. But وبالآخرة هم يوقنون. And in the hereafter, they have certainty. And in the hereafter, they have certainty. وهذا ذكر لأصل من أصول الإيمان باليوم الآخر. And this is a mentioning of one of the foundational principles and beliefs of faith, and that is belief in the last day. فإذا, therefore, هذا تصدير سورة البقرة جاء مشتملا على هذه الأصول العظيمة. He says, so thus the opening of Surah Al-Baqarah, then it comes and it encompasses and comprises of these tremendous fundamental principles of belief. نعم. وركائز المتينة التي يقوم عليها دين الله تبارك وتعالى. It brings us those fundamental principles and that strong foundation and those strong pillars by way of which the deen of Allah, the most high and the most lofty, the blessed and lofty is He, is built upon. That the deen of Allah is built upon. Now, ثم قال الله سبحانه وتعالى بعد ذلك في سورة نفسها. And then Allah Ta'ala, He says after this in the same surah, and this can be found in verse 136. Now, verse 136. So those who have a mushaf, if you want to, it's a good time, grab it, pull up the app on the phone, tablet, whatever the case may be. Inshallah Ta'ala. Now, so again, that's Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 136. Now, everybody got it? Got it? Play it. It says, okay. Allah Ta'ala, He says here in this ayah, قولوا آمنا بالله وما أنزل إلينا وما أنزل إلى إبراهيم. And to say we believe in Allah and that which He has revealed and that which was sent down upon Ibrahim. Now, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back. This is where Sheikh Abdul Razak, he mentions, because the shahid is here, right? But I want to go back just a little bit because the audience is different. Sheikh Abdul Razak, generally, he teaches students, right, who are familiar with these proofs and these evidences and the siyaq and that which came before and after, so on and so forth, right? But as a reminder, because many listening may also be aware of these things, but as a reminder, this ayah is what is a response. That's why it says, قُولُوا, you say, O Muslims, you say unto them. Who's the them? That's why I want to go back, right? The previous verse, 135, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَقَالُوا كُونُوا هُودًا أَوْ نَصَارَى تَهْتَدُوا. It says, Allah Ta'ala informs us of their statement, the statement of the Jews and the Christians. And they say, meaning the Jews and the Christians, be a Jew or be a Christian, you will be guided. Be a Jew, be a Christian, you will be guided. Allah Ta'ala goes on and He says, قُلْ, you say unto them, you, O Muhammad, you say unto them, بَلْ مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا, you say unto them, rather, nay, we follow only the religion of Ibrahim. And the way of Ibrahim was a way of monotheism. Now, مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا, it was a way of monotheism. وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ, he was not from the polytheist. He was not from the polytheist. Now, so say unto them, قُولُوا, say unto them, O you Muslims, say to these Jews, say to these Christians, آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْنَا وَمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ, we believe in Allah, and we believe in that which was revealed unto us, and we believe in that which was revealed unto Ibrahim. And then the Shaykh, he mentions, Shaykh Abdul Razak, he says, إِلَى قَوْلِهِ, until Allah's statement, وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُسْلِمُونَ, and we are unto Him those who have submitted. We are unto Him believers, those who have submitted. But let's read that which is between. وَمَا أُنزِلَ إِلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ وَإِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ وَالْأَسْبَاطِ وَمَا أُوتِيَ مُوسَى وَعِيسَى وَمَا أُوتِيَ النَّبِيُّونَ مِنْ رَبِّهِمْ لَا نُفَرِّقُ بَيْنَ أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُسْلِمُونَ. Now, which means, but we believe in that which was revealed unto us, meaning the Qur'an, and we believe in that which was revealed unto Ibrahim, and also that which was revealed to Ismail, and also that which was revealed to Ishaq, and also that was revealed to Yaqub, and the Asbab, the offspring of Yaqub, meaning the 12 sons, the offspring of Yaqub, the 12 sons. That is who is Asbab. And that which was given unto Musa, and that which was given unto Isa, and that which was given unto the prophets, all of them. We believe in all of them. Now, that which was given unto the prophets from their Lord, لا نفرق بين أحد منهم, we do not make any distinction between anyone from amongst them. What does this mean, distinction between them? Now, because some people, they misunderstand this, and they think that distinction between them means that there is no tafadul, there is no superiority as relates to them, that they're all upon the same level. That's not what it means. Because we know that from the prophets and the messengers that we have 5, and they are the best of them all. Ulul Azm, they are the best of all of them. And they are who? Noah. Who else? Ibrahim. Who else? Musa. Who else? Isa. And who else? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are the best 5 of all of the prophets and the messengers. And of those 5, the best of them is who? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it doesn't mean that by we say no distinction. Now, so it doesn't mean that we say they're all the same and there's none of them that's better than another one. That's not what it means when it says that we make no distinction amongst them or between them. But rather what it means that we make no distinction, it means that we don't believe in some of them and disbelieve in others from amongst them. That we don't believe in some of them and then disbelieve in others from amongst them. But we believe in them all. So no distinction means we make no distinction in our belief for them. We believe in all of them. We don't believe in some and disbelieve in others. So whenever you see this in the Qur'an, this is what it means. This is what it means, that we make no distinction between them as relates to belief. We believe in all of them. The Shaykh, he mentions, he says, فَهَذَا أَمْرٌ بِالْإِيمَانِ بِاللَّهِ. He said, this is a command to believe in Allah. وَبِكُلِّ مَا أُنزِلَ مِنَ اللَّهِ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى, and everything that Allah Ta'ala has revealed. فَيَنْتَظِمُ تَحْتَ ذَلِكَ كُلِّ أُصُولِ الْإِيمَانِ. So therefore it is entered into that all of the usul, all of the fundamental principles, all of the fundamental beliefs of Iman. فَإِنَّ الْإِيمَانِ بِاللَّهِ. So verily the belief in Allah, إِيمَانٌ بِهِ, is a belief in Him. وَبِكُلِّ مَا أَمَرَ وَبِكُلِّ مَا أَمَرَ بِالْإِيمَانِ بِهِ, and everything that He Jalla wa'ala has commanded us to believe in. مِمَّا أَنزَلَهُ فِي كُتُبِهِ وَتَضَمَّنَهُ وحي المنزل نعم على الرسل الكرام عليهم الصلاة والسلام, and that which has come in the books and that which is contained inside of the revelation that was sent down upon His messengers or upon His noble messengers, may the salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhim ajma'een. Na'am. Also, when we go back to these verses from Surah Al-Baqarah, na'am, verse 137, just as an added benefit, in verse 137, Allah Ta'ala, He says, فَإِنْ آمَنُوا, and if they believe. Na'am. This is very important. When you study in the Qur'an, it is very important to understand in English, the pronouns, I believe it's called in English. When it says they, he, them, so on and so forth, to understand who are these? Who is the they, who is the them, who is being referred to? So now here in this ayah it says فَإِنْ آمَنُوا, and if they believe. If they believe بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ, if they believe in the likes of what you believe in. So now the question becomes, who is the they? Who is the you? The they is clear. The they, go back to verse 135. In verse 135, who's the they? Jews and the Christians. So if they, insert in parentheses, Jews and the Christians believe in what you all believe in, who's you all? The Muslims, but in particular, which Muslims? Now the believers, but Muslims believe the same thing. But which believers? Which set of believing Muslims? Who? The Prophet ﷺ, Naam, and who else? And the companions. Right? And if they, meaning those Jews and Christians, believe in what you all believe in, meaning what? Meaning the Sahaba, if they believe in what you all believe in, then what? فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا, then they will be guided. Because they say, what, be a Jew or Christian, you be guided. No, that's not the case. If they believe in what you all believe in, then they'll be guided. If they believe in what you, the Sahaba, what you believe in, then they'll be guided. This ayah is a proof for what? A proof that establishes a da'wah Salafiyya. Now, a da'wah Salafiyya. Because the da'wah Salafiyya here, al-Islam, it is Islam. Because as any Muslim, right? Check it. Any Muslim, does it make sense that you be a Muslim and you believe different than the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba? It don't make sense. The Prophet ﷺ came to teach us how to believe correctly. The Sahaba, they were the first generation of Muslims to take that teaching straight from the Prophet ﷺ, and thus they believe correctly. Because Allah Ta'ala informs us of this. Radiallahu anhum wa radu an. Allah is pleased with them and they are pleased with Him. Right? But the Prophet ﷺ, he attested to their superiority. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, خَيْرُ النَّاسِ قَرْنِي ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ ثُمَّ الَّذِينَ يَلُونَهُمْ, that the best of mankind is my generation, then those who follow them, and those who follow them. Now, so the Prophet ﷺ has established that the Sahaba, they were correct. They were right. Their belief was correct. Now, and how much more so here in this ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِنْ آمَنُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا آمَنْتُمْ بِهِ فَقَدْ اهْتَدَوْا, and if they believe in that which you believe in, then they will be guided. If those Jews and Christians believe in that which you companions, Sahaba, believe in, then they'll be guided. This is the proof and the evidence which shows us that what? That the Sahaba, their way was right. They were guided. They were upon the correctness. They were upon the haqq. Their way was true. They were upon true Islam. Now, they were upon true Islam. But, so, the way of Ahl Sunnah is what? The Qur'an, the Sunnah, ala fahmi man, upon understanding of who? The Salaf of this Ummah. The Salaf of this Ummah, meaning the Sahaba. The Sahaba, because their way was correct. What's the dalil? What's the dalil the way was correct? This ayah. This ayah. There's more ayat that point to this. There's more hadith that point to this. But this ayah is from the proofs that what? Their way was right. Right? But so when one realizes this, then is there another way to practice Islam? No, there's no other way. There's no other way. No other right way. People have wrong ways, but there's no other right way of practicing the deen of Islam. You see? Allah. But so the Shaykh goes on, and let me check. Ma'adira. I've lost track of time. على كل حال the Shaykh, he goes on and he mentions, he says فهذه الآية في هذه الآية أمر بالإيمان. In this verse there is a command to believe. Now, and that is Allah Ta'ala's statement, قُولُوا آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ. And you say, it's command form of the verb, you say, meaning who? You Muslims, you say we believe in Allah. وفي تمام السورة, and at the end of the surah, إخبار من الله تبارك وتعالى بالتحقيق. And at the end of the surah, there is a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to establish this iman بامتثال المؤمنين لما أمرهم به, and that is by the believers doing that which they have been commanded with. وفي أوائل السورة جاء الأمر به, and in the beginning of the surah it comes with commanding with it. وفي تمامه جاء إخبار بتحقيق ذلك فيهم, and at the end of it there comes information, we are being informed that they actualized it, that. فقال Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, في تمام هذه السورة, at the end of the surah. And what surah is the end of? The end of what surah? Baqarah. Ma'am. So in the beginnings of the surah is commanding them to believe, and at the end of the surah we're being informed that they established that belief, and they established that belief. Now, I don't know how else to say it in English, but they established that belief. Now, and that is in Allah Ta'ala's statement, آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون, that the messenger believes in that which was revealed to him from his Lord, and as well does the believers. The believers, they also believe. The believers, they also believe. Na'am, kullun, all of them, amana billah wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulih, la nufarriqu bayna ahadin min rusulih, وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. Now, is that they, all of them, believe in Allah, and they believe in His angels, and they believe in the books, and they believe in the messengers, and they make no distinction between anyone from the messengers. What does that mean? They make no distinction between anyone from the messengers. What does it mean? They all accept it, and they all what? No, but when you say no distinction, it means that what? We believe in how many of them? All of them. We make no distinction as relates to belief in them. We believe in all of them. Now, we believe in all of them. لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله. We make no distinction between any one of the messengers. Meaning, we don't believe in some and disbelieve in others. Now, we believe in them all. وَقَالُوا, and they say, سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا, we hear and we obey. They say we hear and we obey. Now, how do you hear and obey? You gotta know what, you gotta have what first? Huh? Ilm. Ahsant. You gotta have knowledge first. Gotta have knowledge first of what is correct, and then what? Then you submit to that. You believe in that. Ghufranak, we seek your forgiveness, O our Lord. Naam, غفرانك ربنا, O our Lord, we seek your forgiveness. وإليك المصير, and unto you is our return. And unto you is our return. وقوله وإليك المصير, and unto you is our return. Shuf. In this ayah, we have آمن بالله, right? That we believe in Allah and His angels and the books and the messengers. Now, and then we have the statement وَإِلَيْكَ الْمَصِيرُ, and unto you is our return. And unto you is our return. As Shaykh Abdul Razak, he mentions, he says, فِيهِ إِثْبَاتِ الْإِيمَانِ بِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. He said, in this, then there is an affirmation of belief in the last day. So here, from this part, is an affirmation of belief in the last day. فجاءت هذه الآية في الخاتمة السورة مشتملة على هذه الأصول العظيمة. So this ayah comes at the end of this surah, and it comprises of these tremendous pillars, the tremendous pillars of al-Iman. Na'am. And then the Shaykh, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, he goes on to further get into and explain as relates to this ayah. Na'am. But inshallah ta'ala, we want to come back to this with fresh eyes in the next class. So we're going to stop at this point. فنكتفي بهذا القدر، وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين، وجزاكم الله خيرا.